When the scheme was proposed, there were a few objections from particularly people who lived nearest to the proposed site. And meetings were held and local residents were assured that the impact was not going to be maybe what they had feared. And people were satisfied with that. And it hasn't been a problem for us. And I think now that the development is completed, people are very pleased with it.
I spoke to a lot of people that was really positive about it, happy about what it was going to bring to the village. And equally, I spoke to a few that didn't like change, was unsure about what it was going to bring and the people that was going to be housed here.
Yeah, I think they associated the affordable housing with families on benefits, etc. That's not actually the case.
Both me and my husband both work, so we're both earning above the bracket to be able to claim any benefits anyway, but obviously not enough to be able to afford to live in where we live because it is such an expensive area.
This is one of the expensive areas of the country because obviously we are in commutable distance to London, to Cambridge and further afield, and obviously for some people they just sleep in the village. It's very much a dormitory village.
I had to move away because there was no affordable places to rent here. A lot of the places are very expensive and I ended up having to move out of the county. But luckily I managed to get a place here in one of the affordable housing schemes.
I think certainly in this economy, affordable housing to be available is extremely important. Without it, we would have had to have moved out of the village. If that would have been forced out of the village, just because the financial restraints on renting.
I think for younger couples, it's harder to get on the property ladder nowadays.
We had difficulties trying to get a mortgage because both me and my husband are both self-employed, and at the moment it's really difficult anyway for anybody to get a mortgage, let alone being self-employed. It kind of got us on the housing ladder because we've bought this house. It means we're in a secure home. If we sell it, it gives us more of a deposit as well. And then we'd be able to probably buy a house on the open market in the area.
The affordable housing has brought back some young families, some of whom will have grown up in the village and have had a chance to come back, and also to bring some new families, much needed families with children who can actually come to the village primary school.
If there are no young families here, the school role will diminish and the school will end up having to be closed down. So affordable housing really does inject new life into the village.
It's very important to keep young people living in the area in order to keep our community flourishing. We are a thriving, very mixed community, and I think the primary school is key in enabling a mixed community to continue to flourish.
I've lived here all my life. I've been brought up. I was brought up in the next village along. I went to the schools here, which will be the same schools my children go to, so that's just important for us that our children stay in that same area. My family are here. It's just nice to stay in the same area that you've grown up in.
I think it's definitely important keeping young people in the village because obviously that's the next generation of the village, and probably like us, they've also got their connections here as well, their family network, friends, jobs.
Affordable housing allows young families to come back to the village where they may well have grown up. They can then support their own parents and grandparents, and likewise those people can support their sons and daughters and grandchildren, maybe even great-grandchildren.
If you don't have families and a broad range of people living in a village, there aren't enough people to use the shops, there aren't enough people to use the pubs, and you lose those facilities, and then people don't have a reason to come to your village. One reason people come to this village is that they come to the primary school, they come to our after-school club, they come to our preschool, they come for our community information point, they come to the shops, they come to the cafes. And all of that feeds into the local economy, and it has a knock-on effect of keeping the community thriving. So having the affordable housing is going to significantly contribute to that.
Having homes built on a sterile site increases the biodiversity of the actual site. Although people think that when you're building on arable land that you're removing the wildlife away from that area, you're actually increasing it through people gardening, installing their own ponds, putting bird boxes into their gardens, having trees. Obviously an agricultural field will have lots of weed killers and pesticides thrown all over it, whereas people in their gardens are much less likely to do that.
It was very important to us that the houses would fit in with the local scene, but also that they would be modern and suitable for people to live in this part of the 21st century.
I think the affordable houses fit in perfectly. Really well designed. They don't stick out like a sore thumb. They're within the upkeeping of the village. Very similar to surrounding area properties. Yeah, just very well designed.
The houses in this estate are very economical because they use passive house technology. They reduce the energy bills for the tenants, which obviously helps with the affordability of the housing.
I think affordable housing being there in the future is extremely important for the next generation coming through. We've got a 10-month-old, maybe in years to come we'll be looking at him having a place just the same and being in the same position that we were.
If these houses are still here, it gives people, young people like us with a family, the chance to stay in the area, move into them. And then if we do move out in the future, then it gives other young families the chance, or other young people the chance to come and stay in the area.
One of the strengths of having a development like this is that these houses will continue to be affordable, and that we've given a legacy to the community. It's very easy for a community to lose its heart and to become exclusive, to lose its services. And I think that in having this development, we've ensured that that isn't going to happen.